Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm your host, Philip, joined by Darren and Daniel. Gentlemen, how's your mid-August Trek experience been?
Hot.
Let's see, mid-August, that's what? Stardate 54321?
Five-digit star dates. How silly.
Yeah, totally normal.
Totally normal.
We just got done watching In the Pale Moonlight, which is now shot up to number 2 for my wife's favorite episode of Deep Space Nine.
I mean,
she still likes the
aren't
Morn
any of
episode
us surprised?
better.
But
She still likes the Morn episode better, but obviously very exciting things.
is that the Hugh Morns for Morn episode?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, there's only one Morn quote unquote episode I can remember, but
yeah.
I think it's that one.
So really good stuff in Deep Space Nine. So we're right in the thick of it. So good stuff.
Cool. What about you, Darren? Any sci-fi Trek?
Oh man, trying to think where it's just been so busy. There's been lots going on, but just haven't been rewatching as much. But in the realm of sci-fi, I am probably going to be picking up a copy soon of the animated Babylon 5 new movie that's coming out.
Just came out 2 days ago.
So
okay,
I'm looking forward to that.
Let me ask a question about this because I was curious. Because I remember, is this the thing that got announced? Is this the remake that got announced?
Well, it's not a remake. No,
it's not.
No. Because there is a remake that got announced months ago, but it was CW, and then the leadership changed, and now it's kind of like, maybe not. This is a from the source animated TV movie. I mean, it's on disc or streaming. Of Babylon 5. So
now, is it a continuation?
I believe so. Yeah, I did a little research, but yeah, it's like from the same. It's from JMS, and it is a continuation of the story. Well, which kind of one of the only. Well, and there's time travel involved because
it's basically because it's 2023. What does it have to be about?
A multiverse.
Yeah. So it's basically, as I understand it, it's right there, sitting in the living room, ready for me to press play. But basically, I think it's just going to be wherever it starts, which I think is probably going to be like season 3 or 4. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's, President Sheridan. But yeah, he'll basically Sheridan, I think, sort of reverse quantum leaps back to different periods. So
is that was that sort of sci-fi? For some reason I always think of Babylon 5 as like just more political. It's like, was that part of the fabric of that show as well? Was it very did it have time jumping and all that sort of stuff? Or?
There was a moment where like he's kind of meeting a duplicate version of like another character. Like there is a little bit of quantumness, but it's very minor, like only a handful of episodes. So yeah, no, this is more like we can tell this story in animation form. So let's do it.
All right, final question: does it have? Is it the cast? Are they returning? Or the ones who are around?
The challenge? The answer is yes, Daniel. But the challenge, and it's not funny. The challenge is half the cast is dead. I mean, it's just
majority of
the reality. They all so all those are voiced by different people, of course. But I mean, they're still, they're not. They're using all the characters. Garibaldi and Jakar,
but in a way, animation makes it easier because you can recast those actors, and go for more, voice sounding, and people aren't going to be like, well, the Garibaldi looks really different. It's like, no, he's going to look like we always thought. So I really can't see how else they would tell this story except for in animated form. And on top of that, the other announcement was that, and we're getting Babylon 5 in Blu-ray. Here it is. We're like, oh, okay, great. Okay, yeah.
And again, I'm not a graphics I mean, I'm daring. You're probably
I heard
smarter.
This was something that was done like a long time ago. Like there was like a Laserdisc version, or there was something of higher quality that was out there on like a service, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll put it on Blu-ray." So it wasn't like it was like this is the natural progression of what we should do with an asset we already have. Yeah, and they're selling it. They're selling it. They're selling it.
Because the point, and again, look, I'm a defender, and I know you've all watched Babylon 5 here, even you, Daniel. But like, the graphics are what they are. I mean, the CGI is what I'm talking about. And I mean, I would be one of those. Don't update it. I mean, if you make new stuff, which they have, with Crusade, then you can update it. But like to go back, I mean, like that's sort of the part of it. Like it just feels like it'd be weird to like.
I mean, there's a way you could do it. I would think of like you're updating it, but it still looks the same. Like just giving it more texture. Like that's all that new CGI really has is
bits.
Texture.
Like take the bits off. Yeah.
And I did get a handsome lady
to
add to my collection. This is the mid regular size Cerritos. So not the XL, but that's all right because it's already practically the size of the XL Miranda class that I have. It is pretty big on its own.
It's almost to scale. No.
They're very similar ships in design as well.
That's true. They are.
I'm very jealous.
I remember when this first came out, we were like, why is there space in the struts to the nacelles? That doesn't. Now looking at it, I'm like, well, that's like a massive strut. So of course there's space in the struts to move.
Cool. Yeah. So, as far as Trek goes, we are now in a brief interregnum period. I'm trying to figure out what's next. Lower Decks?
It's got to be Lower Decks, right?
It's Lower Decks.
Do we have a date? I don't know if someone can Google that while I'm talking.
We do.
September?
I have it on my calendar. I want to say, it's August or September. Lower Deck Season 4, I have it marked as September 7th.
Okay, so a little less than a month. But yeah, we have completed Strange New Worlds Season Dose. So we thought we would sort of look back at this sophomore effort from Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Just call it season 2, Philip. Don't use your Englishified special fancy words. We're simple Americans. We just call it season 2.
Penultimate episode.
It's not series 2, Philip. It's not series 2. It's season 2. Don't get me started.
So yeah.
This is a Canadian show, man. You know, I'm just kidding.
It's what you crave.
No, I guess
that's a Canadian reference there. So yeah, I thought that let's just go generalness. You can either talk about the season or the whole series up to now. Daniel, what's been your Strange New Worlds kind of thoughts? Because I know you were behind. There's a better way to put that, but you haven't been watching it per se, and you probably blasted through it recently. So
I did. I watched all of the episodes this week, and it was okay. There was a lot. It's a lot to do in 1 week. I'll say that. Again, it's just probably the same thing. I don't know generally how people feel about season 2, like versus season 1. If we're going to compare, it feels roughly similar or the same to me. There's some episodes I like, some stuff I don't. It still feels to me like just shy of like Star Trek, like classic Trek. It still feels like Diet Trek to me a little bit. And I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the tone or like how much it shifts from episode to episode. Because it's just you have a war episode and then everybody's singing all of a sudden, and it's just kind of bizarre. Which I guess TOS kind of had that flavor as well, right? It was just adventure of the week. What are we doing? But it was okay. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm sure we'll get into some frustrations and issues, but generally, I think when I sit down to watch Stranger Worlds, I'm like, okay, even if I don't love the episode, I'll probably have a decent time doing it. So it's right in the middle of the road for me. I'll say that.
What about you, Darren? What's your general S&W?
It's really hard to think about my favorite episode as he contemplates the USS Cerritos in his hand. No, I enjoyed season 2 as well. I think Daniel's kind of hitting it really well on like I agree with a lot of what he's saying. Where I like I almost said Lower Decks. I do like Lower Decks, but I like Strange New Worlds. Overall, I think it's so funny. I mean, I don't know exactly how this show came about. If it really was like, oh, we had a fan petition, and so Paramount's like, okay, we'll make a whole dang show about maybe that's true. I don't know. That feels like a lot of money brought to bear, but hey, it's paid off. Like, this is a very popular show. I feel like of the new Trek, maybe barring Lower Decks, I feel like we know the most about the characters. Like, they've really nailed character episodes like TNG would do, where it's like, oh, well, this is obviously a La'an episode, and this is obviously, a number one episode. And so I like that. I like that aspect of Trek, which I feel like some other shows had a harder time doing, where I still didn't know basic bridge crew, at least their name or what was going on. Not to name names, but no, but I like Strange New Worlds. I think it's, eventually I want to get into what Daniel's saying on Diet Trek, because I'm not quite sure what that means, but overall I feel that, I think it does a good balance of episode of the week, but there are still obviously season arcs. Like, there is, things with the Gorn that kind of start from the very beginning episode of like things are happening. But man, I saw it in a tweet. I wish I had it pulled up, but someone was talking about, they're like, man, look at this show. We had, comedy, drama, singing, action, animation crossover. Like, they were just listing all the kind of genre types we hit. I'm like, yeah, we kind of did do a lot in this season. Not series, Phil, in this season. So yeah, so I'd say it's a fun ride. I don't know what it is about Strange New Worlds where I feel like it's not that I care less. I feel like I'm more easily satisfied when I'm watching it. Like, it's just, I'm just letting it wash over me. It's like, oh, hey, those old scientists were going to bring animated characters in. I don't care. That sounds great. I love that show. And oh, now we're going to sing the entire time, but we're going to give kind of a plausible reason to why they're doing it. Okay, here we go. Let's buckle up. And now we're literally going to bring in xenomorphs. Yeah, okay, sure. Here we go with that. So all that to say, we get our courtroom episode. We get our God, or not godlike, but our Federation member playing God, leading a society episode. Like, we get all the stereotypical type sci-fi episodes in like one season. So I think the Strange New Worlds producers are really knocking it out of the park in that regard. I think they really get the flavor of Trek, especially kind of in a TOS kind of lens. And we can, debate the nuances of like, is there too much, James Kirk in this season, or should there be more? And therefore, but it's, I was starting to think like, there's a part of me that would be okay if season 5 of this, of Stranger Worlds just became TOS, like, and they just kept going. There's no reason not to, but at least they're recasting their people instead of CGIing them for the nth degree. But so see what I did there. So that's my overall feeling. I enjoyed the season. I enjoyed both seasons, and I'm always excited for more.
Darren, I want to call you out real quick though. Just because
I should say Lower Decks once, but I was trying to get it.
That was a fair. That's fine. That was a slip up. I understand. But you said that you knew all of the names of the characters of the people on the bridge, and I want to know if you know the character's name of the lady that sits next
Navigator.
to the navigator.
I was just thinking
Ortega's.
No.
Beside Ortega.
Oh, next to Ortega.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know her name, so that's
she's almost in every episode, and I feel like I should know it. I mean,
she's the Tracy Lee Coco of Strange New Worlds. Yeah. I mean, I guess I meant more like the main cast, like, obviously, but that's a good point. That's a fair.
We're not still saying robot lady,
That's true.
Yeah, gosh, I remember those days. we're like, is that a robot lady who just walked by? Let's know more about that. A year later, nope, we're not going to tell you.
And she's dead.
Yeah,
one thing, and I don't know if y'all felt this when I was looking, like, okay, let me look, here on my Wikipedia. Others are available. Looking at the episodes for the season, and maybe maybe the obvious answer is it's because it's episodic instead of serialized, but like in a good way. This seems like a long season. Like, it feels like 20 episodes when I'm like, oh God, that was it. And then that one, and then that one. And this isn't a complaint. I mean, I could see where I would complain about this, but I'm not going to. The tonal shifts, like you were saying, Daniel, are like, here's the war episode, and then here's the shiny happy episode. And this is the depressing episode. I don't care. I mean, because it's makes sense. It's the same story. It's not, what's been happening. It all fits, I mean, I could see where I could complain about it, but I'm not going to. But like when I look back at all the series, like the number one trial episode, that was like 3 months ago, wasn't it? I was like, oh no, it's just, So in a good way, I think it feels really long, and that there's a lot. Like if we talked episode by episode, we'd be here for 2 hours, just because it's like there's so much, even though it's just 10 episodes. Whereas I feel like looking at the more serialized ones of recent times, I mean, all of them, it's like bleeds together. Like, I don't know, there's 10 episodes, but I feel like there was like one big one for 4 episodes. Then they rushed the thing. And then, it was, it's like, it doesn't feel like as long. It's just like, all right, getting to the point. Whereas this one, it's 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3, so. But yeah, it is hard to know where to start. So, because like I said, if we go episode by episode, we'll be here all day. So let's go characters. That's usually what I like to do. So, though, Darren, I would also like to know the behind the scenes of how the show started, because it is like,
right.
For some reason, like, I was looking at YouTube
not
clips.
That I feel like they're lying, but it's like, like this is a lot of money on the screen. Like, yeah, they kind of had the bridge already, and they kind of had Pike kind of sorted out and the CG model of the Enterprise, but like to just make it is much more likely that they were already planning on this, and they kind of backdoor piloted it by adding Pike into Discovery. And maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe that was always what was kind of portrayed, but like it felt like they were trying to tell this narrative of like, well, you did this 10,000 signature change.org, and so here's a Star Trek show that's of unparalleled caliber and diversity. We're like, oh, okay. Did that happen?
Yeah, because again, this is veering off, but it does seem like, once you made Michael Spock's adopted, doesn't matter, we'll just say sister, and you introduce Sarek. I mean, we see him, and it's the 23rd century, so it's like, well, we're gonna see Spock. I mean, it just seems like we're going to see Spock at some point. And then season 2 comes, and they basically give you half of it. You get Pike, you get number 1, you get Spock for the whole season. And the Enterprise obviously starts off, in season 1, starts season 2. But like I was looking at YouTube clips for some bizarre reason from Discovery season 2, and Pike, like, he still has brown hair. I was like, they hadn't fully committed to the full silver fox. And they're using sort of the TOS meets Discovery uniform instead of like full TOS, which is what they have now for the wardrobe. But like, I mean, I can almost half imagine it was not planned. Like maybe halfway through, they're like, we could.
We've got the set.
We only know how to do TOS. Why not just do it?
And again, back at the time, like, it's so funny because Stranger Worlds took so long in development too, because there were other shows, I think, if I remember correctly, that had come out. Go to Wikipedia, but just the fact that like Discovery was it, and then they're like, okay, well, we need another show. Like, we need to keep people, engaged. So because it was what we had Discovery, and then
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks was second,
and then Picard. And then
Yeah, I'm looking. There's that. I always love this graph. So it's on Wikipedia's Star Trek page, and it's like it's got a lot more lines on it now, but it's like a bar graph that's like a timeline, and so it's the main axis is 1965 to now, and so it's each chunk of bar shows the actual run of a show, but then the way they're stacked, it shows what time period it's set in. So the topmost one is Enterprise and the bottommost one is Discovery. I think they moved it there. So let's see, zooming in on that. So yeah, Discovery was first, then Picard, then Lower Decks, and then Prodigy, and then Strange New Worlds. So Strange New Worlds was kind of late to the game but it's kind of like Picard's like an outlier. Picard's like its own.
Because they knew it was always going to be short. I don't know if they knew 3 on the top, but they knew we're only going to have Patrick.
But Strange New Worlds feels like the second mainline show. Because it's not Prodigy, and the other two are animated. So it's
and they're literally short. They're literally short.
When you mentioned Michael being Spock's sister, I just realized is the actress that plays Amanda the same in Stranger Worlds as the one in Discovery? It's so easy to forget Discovery is connected. It's like, oh my god, I forgot we had already seen her. That's why she looked familiar. I'm like, oh, okay.
The girl from the L Word is how I refer to her, but that's depends on your viewing. Watching.
I could also look at this other list that has original release date. So Discovery started in September of 2017. Strange New Worlds started in May of 2022. So a little bit later.
It's also and again, this is going to tangent here. Discovery's, this is very Doctor Who, by the way. Discovery has been off for a calendar year.
Yeah.
Last episode was in 2022. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong.
And the next one's in 2024. It's been a while. So anyway, that's just, and I also get I know y'all probably won't watch it. Will make my do it. But it also strikes me, I don't think they knew this was the last season. I feel like it's going to be, that last episode is going to be crazy because they shot that last episode and then they're like, oh no, this is a series finale. Reshoot. Yeah. We got to do a different ending. That's what the vibes that I'm getting. It's like, finale, which we meant to wrap up the whole series in the last one. But anyway, but back to Strange New World. So let's just start with the Silver Fox himself, Captain Pike. There's not really, there's storylines, but not really. I guess what are your highlight Captain Pike moments?
He's kind of a casual captain, huh? I feel like
he's always cooking in his room while he's chewing you out for regulations, Cool dad, yeah.
Does he ever get mad? I guess in the last episode, he makes some silly mistakes. But he's just kind of a chill dude. He's more chill than Archer, and I feel like that's it's a pretty high bar. So I like him. I think I don't know. And I like his relationship with Captain. I'm going to say Captain Hernandez, but that's from Enterprise.
Yeah, I don't know. I can know her name. What is it? Vale, Hale? I can remember in my head.
Like that. Yeah. I like that. I like that element of the show that he has a relationship, and he's going through issues. That's normal. So I like that stuff.
This is be slightly freewheeling, but I'm still going to keep it, to Pike. But now that you've said that, Daniel, and of course you are the expert on space relationships. We've always said that. So the point at the end of the musical episode where Chapel is leaving, I feel like this is how I interpret it. You tell me if I'm wrong. She hasn't told Spock she got the fellowship, and they're something. We'll just say dating. And then he finds he's the last to find out. She sings basically, "Hey, got this fellowship, and I'm leaving. Bye." And then Spock then takes it as we're over, and that's the end of it, and that's kind of, shitty. But I'm wondering, one of two ways. One, they don't have to break up. They can have a distance relationship. You know what I'm saying? I get that they weren't, they were having some issues communicating.
They'll always have Paris, as it were.
Yeah, but it just seemed bizarre, and now we're broken up because I'm like, this is the 23rd century. I mean, Pike sees his girlfriend like every month and a half. Like,
yeah, I legitimately, I didn't understand that plot line. I thought I lost something because they had an argument once and then that was it. And I thought that, okay. And then in the musical episode, I thought they handled it so bizarrely because like you said, she just shouts from the rooftops, I'm out of here. See you later. Even though it's only for 4 months or whatever it is. And then like, why? She's mean. Like she's mean in that episode to Spock for no reason. And I'm like, what is happening here? And like, I guess you could say, oh, because of the singy part, like it's exaggerated, but it still feels weird. Like even if they had a conversation and she was like that, I'm out. It's still bizarre because she's obviously still like she still has to feel. I don't know. I didn't like how that relationship was handled at all. I thought it was very strange, and I don't know why they chose to do that.
Okay, we're doing this whole thing. All right, so Spock Chapel, we're going to do that 5 minutes. So you guys tell me what you think. It wasn't something I'd before. Because this happened pretty early on, where they started to, like, you could tell they were just dropping some things, where at least where Chapel was like in Spock, and we just thought, like, oh, Spock's not going to reciprocate. I think he was actually being very friendly to her, so it was like a flirtmance kind of. And then they got to, but to me, I was like, okay, I see the building, they built the blocks, it didn't come from left field, like, suddenly her and Spock are together. They built it, it was a foundation. I'll go with you because I know how it ends eventually. So whatever. There's a journey here. Spock has his fiance, and then like this at the end, and then in that last episode, I didn't like the last episode. I think the more I think about last episode, I think I just hated it. But like, so ignoring that for a second, like, oh, he has to go back and she's the only one alive, and all that's stupid. Anyway, but like, I get it, and then for the canon. You're like, oh, to Roger Corby, because that's who she, and we know that. So I don't know. Like, it just seemed Chapel's past relationship, and this isn't anything against her, but she has established she's a non-committal, anytime it gets serious, I'm out of here. And that was kind of, we saw that. And then with Spock, it was going to be different, but it wasn't, it seems like now. Like, she thought, well, whatever. Relationships are messy. But
I did see someone posted and they were talking about because they were in this particular comment, they were defending those old scientists episode because people were like, oh, this is like, why did you just shove this in here? Like, what does this have to do with anything? But they talked about how, it's actually a pretty good episode as far as how it interacts with the Strange New World crew. Like, Uhura's having difficulties, and she kind of turns a page and is now like, hey, I can kind of find this new work-life balance. You have number one, who has just gone through this trial and is feeling really low, and now is like, I'm on a poster in the future for like campaigning, but then you also have kind of a tipping point moment for Spock, who is acting really weird in that episode because he's trying to try on emotion for size or whatever. But also with Chapel, like they both kind of realize like this isn't going to work. Like the future has literally told us that like this is not the Spock they know. And so it helped, like you said, Philip, it makes it so later when they break up, it's not out of left field. Well, you were talking more about how they came into the relationship, but I think the way they go out of the relationship also has those breadcrumbs to earn that payoff. Now, how they balance that, like, you could not enjoy the exact way they did it or whatever, but I think those old scientists does have a bit of that kind of transition in nature. And then, or you could look at it at the level of it's just Boimler and Mariner running around being crazy and which it is, but
I want to just talk about that too, because it's something we didn't really get into it before, but the whole hero worship of these characters from Boimler generally is funny, right? Because it's played for laughs on Lower Decks and it's good. And I like that. But when he came into the real world and started telling everybody how awesome they are and like what their future looks like and stuff like that, I'm like, I bumped against it a little bit because I'm like, okay, you need to stop talking. You're right. Like actually influencing these people, and you're like, you stop opening your mouth and saying these
and he
things.
does. Like, those three things I just listed are people being influenced by what he's saying.
Yeah.
Daniel, he'll stop mentioning anything Worf's honor.
Who's he? Oh, he's the first Klingon to start. I mean, never mind. Oh man.
But it's also another thing too, like what we were just talking about. There's a scene in the last episode where Spock goes to save Chapel, and in space, right? Not on purpose. And they're in space, and there's Gorn, and it's meant to be this like really intense, action scene, and it's like these two characters are fine. These two characters will live. There's no tension here. Look, that's the problem.
They're saying their plot armor is too strong. Like, there's no way they're dying. Now, if one of them was a chief engineer, maybe things are going bad.
Anytime Khan's and Lon's in danger, we're like, this could be it. Yeah, and I don't know. Again, with Spock Chapel, it just because then.
If it's a one-season fling, is it really that bad? It's like that we don't really get any of it in season 3. Like, it's. I'm not saying, don't do it, but like, it really isn't. It's not something bad for the characters. Like,
no.
Honestly, I loved all of the stuff with his fiance. It was way interesting. Like, the whole guess who's coming to dinner, he has human emotions for a moment was hilarious.
Hijinks.
Like, there's so many hijinks. But, yeah, you kind of feel bad that, like, I'm kind of on, what's her name? T'Pring?
Yes, T'Pring.
I'm kind of on her side. Like, Spock's kind of, he's not being just to her. He's not trusting her. And I can see why she's eventually going to be like, I'm going to go with this other Vulcan Bob over here.
Bob.
Stan is it. And that's another thing. And again,
sorry, Bob.
I don't know how it works in Vulcan relationships because, like, we had very limited information. We've always had even though we've seen Vulcans, we still have very limited information. But like, he's engaged, and they go and break, but they're still engaged. And Spock's next episode is like, well, I guess I can make out with Chapel now. I'm like, okay, hold on, cowboy.
Now Spock's becoming Ross, and he's very much like, we were on a break. It's like, Vulcans don't have actual breaks.
Oh boy, yeah. I just thought it was a little too quick. Like, I could accept it, but like, we needed a buffer episode between like him dealing with like.
I mean, I've heard that from the producers they want to start doing like 20 episode seasons, like more longer seasons, and maybe that will give a better flow. Because at the end of the day, you're like, well, I mean, Daniel, you just lived it. 10 episodes is like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot, really quick.
They were together for 2 episodes, and one of the episodes was when they had sex or whatever, and like that was the end of the episode. And it's like, that's why it was like, I was just so like taken aback by how quickly it happened. And I'm like, you didn't even like, what was the point of getting them together?
If they were telling it over a 26 or 20 whatever episode arc, then that's instead of 2, it's like 4 or 5. And that makes way more sense.
Because I didn't like, I think the more I think about the last episode, I didn't like it. There are other episodes that I don't like, but it's just more not for me. I don't think it's intrinsically badly.
I remember you saying that in the chat where you're like, "Hey, it's not my cup of tea. I'm probably not going to rewatch this one."
But that would be the dogs, sleeping dogs, war dogs, sleeping war dogs, whatever that episode was. Where it's like we get M'Benga and Chapel, who are. All I'm not making fun of that. Or they're all PT, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Do you mean Under the Cloak of War?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay. I'm like, there's no dogs in any of these.
Whatever. I thought it was like the Sleeping Dogs of War. I think it's a DS9 episode now that I think about it. But anyway.
Yeah. Sleeping DS9 got all the good titles. They used them all up.
Because like in that episode, this is just still doing Spock Chapel, where it's like, and I get it. I mean, it's not like it's not true where, combat war vets won't talk to their significant others, and they'll talk to only their buddies, non-gendered buddies, whether it's drinking or whatever they do, and that's who they'll talk to. It's not that that's not real, but it's just sort of like it seemed like we need a reason for Chapel to not talk to Spock. It just seemed because I get it. Because then he feels sorry for Spock, where he's like, "I'm sorry, I must be doing something wrong." Like, no, it's her. I mean, like, I'm not saying there's not a psychological
but
reason.
But that also wasn't out of place. Like the fact we had that in the first episode, where all of a sudden they're like taking their war stims, and it's like, oh, okay, like this is, which I'm trying to think now. What war was this? Because part of me feels like I missed it. Like, what?
No, I think you just had to realize that, well, that first episode, I thought it was just like, oh, the Federation created gummy berry juice, and, now they don't do it anymore. Now it seems like it's a special Mbenga blend or something.
Well, it also feels like there was some war between season 1 and season 2. Like, am I not remembering something?
No, that's Klingon. It's from the old Klingon War, the 20 Discovery.
It's the Discovery War, but we don't see what the Enterprise is doing during that war.
Well, we don't see what Mbenga or Chat, but we don't know how long they've been on the Enterprise.
That is true. Okay, that makes a little more sense.
So I must have missed it because I do. What episode was it where he goes? He gets all wild and feral.
Where he has to fight the Gorn.
Yeah. No.
So it's the Klingons. It's the first episode. It is the first episode.
That's the first one? Okay. So that's something new, right, from this season? That wasn't something from last season that I forgot, right?
No.
Okay. I guess I missed the scene or whatever where they explained it, because I had no idea what was happening.
They didn't. You didn't. Okay, it was just like, here's gummy berry juice. We all know what it is. No reason to explain it. Yeah. And then they down it. And then
they look at each other, they crack it open, they chug the highlighter, and we're like, okay, what's happening? Oh, this is obviously like, they do the cool like iris, wide thing, and you're like, oh, this is like.
I'm thinking
of Q now. It's like where Starfleet controls their officers with the drugs.
I just thought that was so weird, man. Like,
it did
now all
need
of a
a
sudden
little bit of a,
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Explanation. Yeah, it's a weird Sorry, the one I'm talking. What's it called? I've already forgotten.
Under the Cloak of War.
Thank you. It's a weird episode. I mean,
it's right between Those Old Scientists and Subspace Rhapsody. Yeah. So it's a bit of a total shift. And
again, this is where I don't say it's bad episode. It's just because it's like everyone's cool. You have blanking on her name, being racist, which is, and I'm hand quoting, understandable. I mean, you shouldn't be racist, but understandable that she's being like, oh, he must be terrible. And then you have your 2 combat vets who are PTSD, and that's fine. And then it's just like, and then Mbenga kills him and lies about it. I'm like, oh, hold on, what? Like,
oh yes.
What lesson was I supposed to learn here?
I do want to talk about that because Pike comes in and kind of talks to him about it. I zoned out on this episode. I think this was the only one that I didn't keep. It couldn't keep my attention. I was just like, what is going on?
It's a weird tone, kind of. Yeah. It's very floating.
So he kills him. He just straight up murders the dude. Literally just murders him with a dagger. And for some reason, it's okay. Why was it okay? And why was Pike okay with it? What was the justification? Because he was a war criminal before?
I think this is what I got. You guys tell me if you got something different. Is that Mbenga said, he came at me, bro. And I defended myself. And everyone's like, well, Mbenga wouldn't lie.
We saw what happened.
And the guy's a Klingon, so, So it makes sense, I guess.
It cuts a shot of Mbenga in his office. I've never trusted Klingons. Never will. And I never forgive them for the death of insert character here.
And I think the secret sauce is that, and I know we all know this, we all saw the episode, but the secret sauce is that he has the knife that the Klingon used, that he's been keeping, so it has the Klingon's fingerprint, whatever, DNA on it.
Right. Okay.
So that's the plausible deny, it was the murder weapon because it was his. It's not like I would have a Klingon knife on me for some reason that he owned.
Okay, but he was literally just trying to convince him to. We saw what happened. We know what happened as an audience.
Right.
We know he's a murderer. He murdered that man. We know that. So
I mean, Worf has murdered many a Klingon too.
He sure has. Worf definitely has murdered people.
Worf's like, Duras, and it's like, no, Worf. Like, oh, sorry, yes, Worf.
And I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not necessarily saying Worf had all the facts when he did it.
Yeah.
But we can we excuse Worf because there is a motive. Right. Or understandable note. There's always a motive. But
Galron hate you. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
He kills a lot of people. Yeah.
But this is like happy, trippy ambassador, peaceful Klingon who, yes, is a war criminal. I mean, we're not going to and who lied about some things, but then has been repentant for the past 10 years, and it's sort of like, there's no repenting, stab. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what lesson I'm supposed to take from this.
Even in that episode where Worf killed the person, they get around it. Picard specifically says, "You did that. It wasn't on our ship. Which, if it was on our ship, that would be a big problem." And here we see this,
Captain, like on our ship. That's the rule. We're
welcome to jurisdiction.
I mean, if you're. That's like just saying,
sense, right?
That's just saying officer so-and-so didn't kill you on base. They killed you in the town. Is that officer still not going to get in trouble for killing someone?
Well, they would, but just through different
jurisdiction.
Yeah,
it would be up to the police in the city, not the...
But either way...
it'd be up to the Klingon Empire, and the Klingon Empire were like, peace, we hate Duras too. Thank you for killing him. Bye. That's a good point. Okay.
But even an in-universe, external person. Okay, we have this Klingon ambassador who's preaching for peace and really trying. He goes on the Enterprise and is murdered or killed. He's killed. That's it. I mean, that's the facts,
Right.
Okay, no wonder the Klingons don't. What do you mean? Look at that. This is a huge deal. This is a massive.
Yeah.
I was annoyed by that episode. I did not like that.
I guess maybe it's the greater meta plot of we can't have peace with the Klingons before TOS because
So it's M'Benga's fault.
Well, because then Kirk, can't hate them. Yeah. Well, mini sidebar back to the production of Stranger Worlds. I'm like, I could actually just look this up and find answers to our questions. So it's kind of both. So it's talking about how when Al Kurtzman was starting to produce Discovery, and he brought in Akiva Goldman to join him. Goldman thought, based on rumors, that Discovery was going to be an original series Enterprise following Pike show, and then it wasn't that. It was it was Discovery. It was a prequel, but we got what we got, and so he also I think was part of what brought Pike in to season 2 of Discovery, and we get Pike, and then you had the internet approval of the fans really reacting to Spock and Pike and number 1. So then they were like, okay, well, let's actually do this as a show. So it really is kind of both. It's not that the internet birthed this into being, they already had seeds that they kind of wanted to do this, but I mean that kind of makes sense too, because as a production company, you want to make things, but you don't know if they're going to be. I mean, heck, you could have. I mean, I remember Enterprise where people were prequel to Star Trek. You can't do that. You could make if Strange New Worlds was the first show, would we be more upset with it because we're well, you can't just do a redo of TOS that it's the Enterprise. That's too different or not different enough. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, look, and I think, I feel like this is unarguable. I mean, everyone can have their personal opinions, but I think Strange New Worlds is the most popular, end quote, current Star Trek series. I mean, I think Picard season 3,
I would say so too,
which we weren't necessarily fans of, but Picard season 3 got a lot of good feeling and press, but that was one season and then it was over. And so, but I think Strange New Worlds is also like that in that it's sort of generically, yes, this is a good series.
If there was no Strange New Worlds right now, it would feel like Trek is has a problem because you have Discovery going away, you have whatever's happening with Prodigy, and on the side here you got Lower Decks just kind of chugging along, we're just doing our thing. We're not going to care about the live action shows. We're just going to keep making
that. They were in one
cool stuff. Yeah. But Lower Decks is it's kind of becoming the new front runner show I feel like it's totally displaced Discovery as far as in marketing and such, as far as what is Star Trek right now. Anson Mount was climbing Mount Paramount. That's
It's true.
Okay, well, we've been talking a while. We don't have to close just yet, but we don't have a lot of time. So I'll just open it up to, other than Pike, which we just touched on, but like any character moments or, episodes that you guys want to spotlight. So I'll go first, give you guys time to think about one or two moments. I think, this is obvious, but I'll just say it. A lot of times how I'll measure Trek shows, especially Kurtzman era, because I don't know how to say 21st century because Enterprise is 21st century,
right?
And then the movies, so I'll say Kurtzman era Trek shows. A lot of times when I think about these series, I'm like, do they have any episodes that I would want to rewatch? Like, do I want to sit down and this is personal opinion, do I want to sit down and pop open a Discovery episode? Like, remember that Discovery episode, or remember that season of Discovery, or remember that Lower Decks episode, or remember that Prodigy episode? Like, what would I sit down and be like, I want to watch this episode again? And I've had, couldn't always find a lot. Like Picard, let's do season 2 rewatch. I think, it's hard. But I want to watch the Lower Decks and musical episode 50 million times, both of those episodes, each. And that's, personal opinion. But and there's other episodes from season 2, obviously. But what do I want to rewatch? Like, you want to watch a Strange New Worlds episode? Yeah, I know what I want. Pick one. Okay, I know what I want. Pick two. I know which one I want, Whereas if someone said, tell me a Lower Decks episode, or, and you may have one, but a Picard episode you want to watch again, you'd be like, well, is it that about the one? So, no, top of my head, you asked me what Strange New Worlds episode I want to watch. So, I do enjoy that they sort of have, went for their season 2, baby. We already did season 1, so we can do some crazy stuff. And so they did 2 crazy things, which to me, in my opinion, worked out very well. And that would, like I said, that would, would be my. I feel like if musicals are not your taste, I feel like the Lower Decks crossover is making a list when you're talking top Trek episodes. I'm not saying it's top 5 or 10 necessarily, but I'm saying you're making a list of Trek episodes. It's going to be on there. So. But
yeah,
anyway.
I'd add Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I enjoyed. That's a fun time travel episode. It's, what modern-ish day. But,
Daniel loved Baby Khan, I heard.
Okay, Baby Khan aside. But, no.
Yeah, are you going to stick with that episode, Dan, or are you going to talk about another one?
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about that, and as well as... I can't find her name, but the new engineering officer, Carol Kane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I really liked her. And I liked Himmler. I was really sad when he died, the 11th hour, but she's, I think, been a great replacement. And, I kind of get TNG season 1 vibes of we don't have a chief engineer. We're just kind of going to do whatever we want. And
well, we do now.
Well, yeah.
We do now.
Yeah.
But, I do love how Carol Kane, or whatever her character's name, she doesn't know, it's Carol Kane. I love that I was going to say TOS, and Strange New Worlds, whatever. Every famous person, number 1, Scotty, spoilers, that she's had as a student has done terrible in her class. I love, there's no one who's you are the top people. She's always yeah, you failed, and you failed. And you're how hard was this class? At the top people. And
That's true. No, but I liked the makeup, of all the cast. And, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, there's no one they're not using. I would say probably, maybe, I don't know, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Who's the Khan? Who's Helms?
The one I couldn't name, or the
who
actual
flies the
one?
ship?
Ortega's.
She flies the ship.
Ortega.
That's why they have an episode where she literally just says, "I fly the ship. My name is Ortega's." For it's like when they put Hermione's name in the Harry Potter book spelled out so people knew how to say it. It's this is, we're gonna put it so we know how to say it.
Actually, been an Ortega episode. I think they tried, but it really wasn't an Ortega episode.
She's not that level though. She is a second or third level of character, which not in quality, but just in
tiers.
Yeah, she's in a different tier, which is fine. It's like a Guinan episode, like Guinan's not on the bridge. Like she's going to have very few. It's a whole different story, but I like all of the. I was trying to remember,
which hopefully I'm not saying that in a weird way, but like she's there to add color to things. She's your color commentary.
She likes to quip.
I was trying to think, what is this season's Elysian Kingdom, and that's probably got to be the musical Substate Rhapsody. Like it really is. Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Well, let's talk the Jim Kirk of it all. I think, and Daniel, you can tell me what you think. But like, whatever, I'm not trying to police things. But if you're going to bring Kirk in, I like how they've brought Kirk in till then. Of like, it's not real. So it's like, oh, the season 1 finale, that's not real. It was the alternate, and that was cool.
Right, that's true.
And that was like a good way to do it. And then in Tomorrow, it's not real. It was weird that in that time he was a cap. Well, maybe was it at the same time when she went to that alternate Enterprise? Because like it's still a little early for him to be captain.
Presumably,
yeah. It's a standard walk on the bridge, and it's not who I thought it was. It's like a
little early. You look in that universe, how he must be like 25. Like anyway, because he's already the youngest XO. But anyway,
James, you're the youngest captain in a century.
Yeah, I know. Because he was already youngest in this timeline, so he's like super the youngest. But anyway. But then again, that's not real. So it's like, yeah, you could kill Kirk. You do whatever you want. It's not real. Okay. And then it's like he keeps coming back.
Now we get back to real. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if they were to continue that, I would like that better. I would prefer not actual James T. Kirk on the show.
Kirks.
I just don't. Yeah. I don't know why they keep bringing him back. It's like, like this whole thing. The tomorrow is setting up this relationship, but she knew him for a day. God, I hate this. It just drives me nuts when they do this. She knew him for a day and fell in love with him, and it's like, and then he comes on the bridge, like, and then nothing, and then that's it. She gets her heart broken. Well, and that, what was the point of that entire exercise?
And it doesn't work because
Daniel, they share hot dogs.
She knew him for a day, but they kind of gloss over the fact that but he doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have a day or however many days it was of falling in love with La'an. Like he's like, what are you talking about? It's like going back in time and meeting, your wife you haven't met yet. Like she doesn't know who you are. Like that's not going to work.
It also super bothers me that I think what happened was a writer thought it would be cool for Kirk to have a relationship with a Khan. And I'm like, that is so dumb. It
is weird. Not that him and Lon, if you forget who she is, don't work. Her personality and whatever. But when you think about wait a minute. So when he was with fighting Khan, he's like, by the way,
I saw another meme of that where it was like a still of Khan and Kirk. I think this was actually the TOS episode, but as opposed to the Wrath of Khan. But yeah, and it was like, it's like, I hate you. He's like, yes, and I, kissed your great granddaughter. And he's like, what? And
that's the thing. The longer this continues, because at this point now, real James Kirk has met her. So now, and this is why I start to bump against it, because if you go back to that episode,
Space
Seed, and Spock could easily be technically Spock could be like, oh yeah, remember our old security officer, the one you met, that was also her descendant.
Right.
It's just, you're
why
just
would you
mixing
not
it
mention
all.
that?
Why would you not say that?
When you're looking up Khan's file for the first, second, third time.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, that's why I never liked that they brought her on in the first place. And now that they made her have a relationship and fall in love with him. And it's just somebody thought it was interesting to put, because, Kirk and Khan, that's a thing. Let's make it. No, just leave it be. Just leave it be. That's just one of those things where why touch it? Because you're not adding anything to it.
Saying it's Space Khan hates Kirk because of past, sexual tension with his great granddaughter. That's kind of weird.
Well, there was already tension in Twat. You could, even though they never met, you could sense it. You could cut it with a knife. Let's go ahead and make it canon. Yeah. Because I don't want to go on it, because I'm fairly positive about Strange New Worlds. That last episode was weird, right? I mean, not weird, bad. It just seems like Strange New Worlds, all the episodes have been very their own voice. this last episode was like, and I'm not even saying like Discover, I'm saying like Marvel, like it was just generic action finale. And it was just
it's hard to top quality of Mercy, because once they started unveiling that this was kind of like we were going to see an alternate take on one of the best TOS episodes, I think, which Errands of Mercy, I'm assuming. But
Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror. I'm like, I don't think it's the actual same name, but yeah. But yeah, we're seeing this alternate Balance of Terror. And I remember when that started happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know what's going on. And it's like, how do you top that? Like, I don't think you really can. So yeah, hegemony.
Yeah.
Agenda.
And I don't know if y'all have issues with Gorn being the big bad, but it's like, I don't. But it's like, it just seemed very
flashbacks
generic.
Of that video game, Daniel, the 2009 one.
Just like,
yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I'm just going to say,
go ahead.
I'm just going to sit her all explode. It just seems like very like Kirk's. What's her name? I don't want to call her Pike's girlfriend. She has a name. But anyway, Captain What's Her Face. Like is in danger. Chapel's in danger. So this is basically about two guys rescuing the princess from the castle. And then it's like, the whole thing with Chapel was stupid. I mean, like, she's the only one that survived out of like 200 people, 300 people, the only one. I mean, like,
the thing she was in that room.
Give me a couple injured people, and maybe they just die because of the Gorn or die of their injuries, and she's trying to save them. But the only one. Okay, that's stupid. Like, at least give her like her arm comes off or something. Like, bump in my head. Oh well,
it's just a flesh wound.
Everyone else is dead. And I'm fine though. And then it was like that's just very forced of her and Spock. Like it's just so forced. We don't need it. And then Pike saving the captain, whatever her name is, and then her like there was no scene, and maybe it's not needed. I mean, I think it's needed, but maybe it's like too much going on. And it's like no scene. Like by the way, your ship's destroyed, and she's like. Oh my God.
She was never upset, right? Yeah,
no problem. She's like, oh, let's just whatever. 400 people dead, whatever. No biggie. It's just my ship. And then like we all knew. Well, at least I see it. I thought it was obvious when the thing didn't attack. The Gorn aliened her. Kissed her or whatever. And like, oh, she's been bitten. I mean, we all right. It's obvious. Yeah. It's obvious. And then it's like, oh, now she's going to die. And I mean, she may not, but.
Do you think they will? I feel like they're going to have to kill her off, right?
Yeah, because and then Pike gets mopey for half a season.
Yeah, he can't be happy.
Yeah, it was just very generic.
It made me think of like Enterprise, because Enterprise also had a captain that was in love with another captain, and they saw each other, they climbed a mountain together, and I'm like, I feel like they kind of did it better. Like, they let him be at least a little happy. But,
yeah. Anyway,
well, we got Scotty.
So. Yeah, which I was fine with. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't spoiled. Usually it was. Usually it'd be like, we know Scotty's coming. And I'm like, I was totally like, I heard the Scott. I'm like, oh, I know. Okay. And not in a bad way. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. And I also liked that he wasn't on her ship. Again, can't remember her name. Can't remember her ship's name. But like, it was like
Calypso, the sea something.
But he's like, oh, no, I'm from this other thing. And like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it wasn't just like, he's been here the whole time. Like, no, he's way over here. He's way over here. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And so, I mean, you can, in real life, I say in real life, there's no real life. This is Star Trek. But like in real life, people just get assigned to ships. But I do like how like, no, we all came together eventually because we all have had some association, So
are we going to get a TOS classic character every season finale now? Like next time?
We obviously are. Like, why would you think we wouldn't? McCoy's next. It's got to be McCoy coming through.
See, that's the. I'm curious how that works. I mean, I don't. Well, because it has to. Nothing has to, even though I say it does. If Jim and Bones are friends. I mean, they know each other. Like, I'm not saying it was like known each other for 20 years, but like they've known each other more than a year. I mean, they know each other. You know what I'm saying?
We need to go to a deep cut. We need to be at Starfleet Medical, and we see, just for one scene, Bones McCoy, and standing next to him is Dax when she was like whatever her name was, and a student Old Miss. Like, I need to see that scene for no reason, but just like the deepest of cuts.
Because you wouldn't even have to say it because we wouldn't know who the actor is. It'd just be someone who has the deck.
Just be whatever.
And we don't have to troll dots.
Oh, real quick, I wanted, because you brought it up.
Yeah.
The engineer lady.
Yep.
I don't like that they keep putting aliens on Earth before first contact. That bothers me. It just annoys me.
Yeah.
It just annoys me.
How
I just
many?
wish
Like
they'd stop doing
50?
that.
Vulcans and aliens.
I just wish they'd stop doing that. Please stop doing that. No more.
Well, and I do feel it was a missed opportunity. I think it would have been hilarious if you're going to do it in an episode, do it in the those old scientists. But like, I want there to be a freeze frame ending, like where the slides are rolling, as the music, as the end.
I thought they were doing it for the musical episode, honestly.
Or the music, that would have been cool too. But like, where they're all just like, ha ha, and it just ends with the dut dut dut, like that happy music. Like, come on, guys, lead into it. You went like 99% there. Like, just we don't care. Go for it.
That was my only disappointment. Well, my only real disappointment with the musical episode is that that's the last music, after they do the big closing number, they play the TOS closing music over as it all ends, not on the soundtrack. Not on the soundtrack. Like, come on, guys. It's like, 30 seconds? I mean, come on. Oh, well.
Man.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, final word. We could obviously go another hour here, but we're not going to. So anyway, but closing thoughts about Strange New Worlds Season 2 and or what you might be looking forward to in Season 3. So, Daniel, what you think?
I think that they'll kill his girlfriend and Scotty's coming on the ship. That's what I think. I also think, what kind of crazy thing? I feel like they're going to do one gimmick episode at least next season. I hope a claymation episode. Let's do it like Community.
I know at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even at the end of those old scientists, the fact that they had that one shot of them animated, it was like, okay, now we don't need the reverse crossover. Like we've had it. Like this one scene is enough. It's because Lower Decks, like, it's interesting because you know what I mean. Like there's Lower Decks characters and there's actual live actors who have been brought into Lower Decks, and they have a different look. Like, because you have to actually match a person. Usually it's in the eyes, but they have more like human eyes and less like Simpson eyes. But no, I enjoyed Season 2, and man, I cannot answer what I'm looking forward to in Season 3 because I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to do a lot of amazing things, and I think they're going to continue, throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I think that's great. I think maybe give Ortega's, a full episode, or bring in some more characters, or like, I don't know. Is like I said, like I kind of was half joking, but like by Season 5, like, is this literally just going to be TOS? Like, because if you bring on Scotty, that's Scotty, Uhura, and Spock, and Chapel, that are all on the ship, and it's like you only got a few more to make the full roster.
And I will say, and I guess not a real complaint, it's just like a silly complaint. They keep using this like, character's gonna leave, and then they don't. And it's like, Lon's leaving the Enterprise, and like, she's literally there the next, Season 1 of Season 2, and it's like, Chapel's leaving, and now she's there. I'm like, she should leave. I mean, Chapel should canonically leave at some point. Like, she could come back, because she will come back. I mean, we know, but like, she has to meet Roger Corby, fall in love, and then like, for some reason, join the Enterprise to go meet him again. But like, commit either or don't tease us, because it's stupid. We all even know they're coming back at this point because you refuse to let people leave. Fools for an episode is all I'm asking. Like, no Chapel episode, and then the next one he has to save her, or no Khan for an episode, and then but no, I'm enjoying Strange New Worlds Season 2. Is Strange New Worlds my favorite current franchise? If I have to take Prodigy off the board because we don't know what the crap's happening, I think so. I mean, again, then the Lower Decks, and but Lower, they're still like apples and oranges. So, but yeah, no, I'm enjoying Strange New Worlds. All right, until next week, I'm Philip Gelfus.
I'm Daniel Brew.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on a strange new world of City Alpha 3.